This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute professional medical advice. Please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare specialist before starting any new vitamins or supplements mentioned in this video. Use of this information is at your own risk. Tonight, while you sleep, your body will commit a terrifying act. It will eat your own leg muscles for fuel. You are literally dissolving from the inside out. This isn't normal aging. It is a nutritional emergency. You are shrinking because you are missing one specific fuel. Stop the decay now. They are lying to you. They tell you that becoming weak, frail, and slow is just a normal part of aging. They tell you that losing your balance and shuffling your feet is inevitable once you cross the threshold of 60. It is not. It is slow starvation. Right now, at this very moment, your body is committing a terrifying act of self-betrayal. Because of a single missing number in your daily routine, your system has turned against itself. It is actively cannibalizing your own leg muscles to survive. You are dissolving from the inside out. Tonight, while you sleep, your body will strip away the very fibers that allow you to stand up from a chair, walk to the garden, or play with your grandchildren. This isn't just aging. It is a nutritional emergency that is pushing you toward a fall that you might never recover from. The nursing home is not a destiny written in the stars. It is the mathematical result of a deficiency that most seniors have never even heard of. Welcome to EldraFit Nutrition. It's a pleasure to have you with us today as we uncover the truths that will save your independence. If you believe that your health is worth fighting for, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button below. Your support gives us the motivation to keep researching, keep fighting, and keep bringing you these life-saving insights that the mainstream medical world often overlooks. The tragedy of modern medicine is that it is brilliant at keeping you alive, but terrible at keeping you strong. Your doctor is a master of disease. They spent years in medical school learning about pharmacology, diagnosing complex pathologies, and stitching up broken bodies. But do you know how much time they spent learning about the fuel that keeps your muscles from withering away? Maybe a few hours in 4 years. So when you complain about feeling weak, about your legs feeling heavy, they check your heart, they check your blood pressure, and they tell you to take it easy. That is the worst advice you could possibly receive. Nobody tells you the one number that determines whether you stay strong or become frail. That number is 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. This specific number is the difference between living in your own home and living in an assisted care facility. Most seniors are operating on an outdated manual. The official government recommendation is 0.8 grams per kilogram. But here is the secret they don't explain. That is the bare minimum to prevent malnutrition deficiency diseases. It is the amount needed to keep you from dying, not the amount needed to keep you walking. Relying on 0.8 grams is like putting just enough gas in your car to start the engine, but not enough to drive it out of the driveway. As you age, your body changes fundamentally. You develop something called anabolic resistance. Think of your muscles like a sponge. When you were 20, that sponge was dry and thirsty. It soaked up every bit of protein you ate and turned it into muscle instantly. But now that sponge has hardened. Your body has become less efficient. It resists the signal to build muscle. You cannot eat like a bird and expect to have the strength of a lion. You need a surge, a much higher dose of raw materials, just to trigger the same muscle-building effect you had in your youth. By eating the standard amount, you are unknowingly creating a gap, a deficit that your body fills by eating its own thigh muscles. This is the root cause of sarcopenia. It is not time that is weakening you. It is an empty tank. Before we continue to the specific foods that solve this problem for pennies a day, I want you to pause and reflect on your own philosophy of aging. Please answer this question in the comments below. Which creates a better future for you? A. Eating the bare minimum to simply maintain body weight and avoid looking fat. B. Eating a surplus of high-quality food to build metabolic armor and heavy muscle, even if the scale goes up. Type A or B in the comments. Your answer reveals whether you are planning to survive or planning to live. You might be eating 3 meals a day, feeling full, and believing you are well-nourished, yet your legs continue to shrink. This is the cruel paradox of aging. It is not just about the total amount of food you consume, but about a specific biological trigger that refuses to flip on unless you hit it with enough force. Your muscles have fallen asleep. They are dormant, unresponsive to the gentle nudges that used to work when you were younger. To wake them up, to force them to start rebuilding the tissue that time has stolen, you need to understand the chemical key that unlocks growth. That key is an amino acid called leucine. Think of leucine as the ignition switch of a car. If you turn the key halfway, the engine does not start. It doesn't matter how long you hold it there, nothing happens. The engine sits cold and silent. This is exactly what happens when you eat a breakfast of toast and jam or a lunch of just soup and crackers. You are feeding your body energy, yes, but you are not providing enough leucine to turn the key. The ignition fails. Your muscles remain in a state of breakdown rather than buildup. For a person over 60, the threshold to turn that key is significantly higher than it is for a teenager. You need approximately 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single sitting to trigger muscle protein synthesis. If you eat a meal with only 1.5 grams, you don't get half the benefit. You get almost zero muscle building signal. This is why snacking your way through the day often leads to frailty. You are constantly hovering below the threshold, never quite breaking through the barrier that commands your body to grow. Now, let us address the barriers that stop people from getting this vital fuel. The biggest enemy of your strength is often fear, specifically unfounded nutritional fear. For decades, we have been told stories that have scared us away from the very foods that could save our mobility. The most damaging of these myths surrounds soy. You may have heard whispers that soy is dangerous, that it messes with your hormones, that it is feminizing for men or cancer-causing for women. These are ghosts of bad science, long since exorcised by rigorous research, yet they continue to haunt our grocery lists. Soy does not contain human estrogen. It contains isoflavones, plant compounds that are structurally different and behave differently in the body. In fact, large-scale population studies show that cultures consuming the most soy often have the lowest rates of the very diseases we fear. By avoiding soy, you are cutting yourself off from one of the few complete, affordable plant proteins capable of delivering the leucine payload your aging muscles are screaming for. Then there is the egg. How many years did you spend throwing away the yolk because you were terrified of cholesterol? You were told that the yellow center was a heart attack waiting to happen. But in discarding the yolk, you threw away the life raft. The yolk is where the magic lives. It is not just a ball of fat. It is a nutrient-dense sphere containing vitamin D, healthy fats, and critical vitamins that the white completely lacks. But more importantly, research has shown that when you eat the whole egg, the muscle building response is 40% higher than when you eat the whites alone. The cholesterol fear is largely outdated for the vast majority of people. Your liver produces cholesterol every day. Dietary cholesterol has a minimal impact on blood levels for most. By clinging to these old fears, you are starving your body of the most perfect, bioavailable protein nature has ever designed. You are choosing frailty over strength based on advice that expired 20 years ago. It is time to stop fearing your food and start using it as the powerful medicine it is. The signal to grow is waiting to be sent. You just have to be brave enough to turn the key. You cannot build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. This is the brutal reality that many seniors ignore when trying to regain their strength. You might be focusing intensely on your muscles, but if the skeletal structure underneath is brittle and porous, your body will never allow you to become truly strong. The brain is smart. It limits the force your muscles can generate to protect weak bones from snapping. To rebuild your legs, you must simultaneously reinforce the frame they pull against. The solution to this dual challenge lies deep within the ocean, in a humble tin can that costs less than a lottery ticket. Enter the sardine. For many, this is a forgotten food, pushed to the back of the pantry. But nutritionally, it is a miracle. The magic of the canned sardine lies in the very thing most people try to avoid: the bones. These tiny, soft, edible bones are not waste. They are biological gold. They provide a perfect matrix of calcium and, crucially, vitamin D. You likely know that vitamin D is for bone health, but that is only half the story. Vitamin D is the gatekeeper for your muscles. It acts like a key, opening the receptors on your muscle fibers to allow calcium to flood in. This influx of calcium is the actual spark that triggers a muscle contraction. Without adequate vitamin D and calcium, your legs feel heavy and unresponsive, not because they lack mass, but because the electrical firing system is failing. By eating the whole sardine, bones and all, you are remineralizing your hips and charging your muscular nervous system in one bite. But the ocean offers another critical tool for the aging body: omega-3 fatty acids. Think of your joints and muscle cells like a machine that has been sitting in the rain for 60 years. They get rusty. This rust is chronic, low-grade inflammation, and it creates a wall that blocks protein from doing its job. This is a major contributor to that anabolic resistance we discussed. You can eat all the protein in the world, but if your cells are inflamed, they won't accept it. The omega-3s found in sardines and canned tuna act as the ultimate lubricant. They strip away that rust. Research suggests that these fatty acids sensitize your muscles to protein, effectively turning back the clock and making your 60-year-old tissue respond to nutrition like it did when you were 40. Then we have canned tuna, the leanest, most efficient protein delivery system available. While it lacks the calcium punch of sardines, it compensates with density. It is nearly pure protein, stripping away the excess calories that can lead to visceral fat, the heavy weight that your tired knees have to carry. It is also packed with selenium and B12, nutrients essential for the nerves that send signals from your brain to your feet. When you combine these ocean treasures, you are not just eating lunch. You are engineering a stronger, more resilient chassis for your body. You are tightening the bolts on your hips and oiling the gears of your metabolism, ensuring that when you command your legs to move, they obey with power and stability. While the ocean provides the heavy bricks for your foundation, the earth provides the mortar that holds it all together, and it does so for pennies. There is a silent thief that comes in the night, one that most seniors leave the door unlocked for. It is the long fast of sleep. For 8 hours every night, you do not eat. Your body, desperate for fuel to keep your heart beating and lungs breathing, looks for a source of energy. If your bloodstream is empty, it turns to your thighs. It breaks down the muscle tissue you worked so hard to keep. This is why you wake up feeling stiffer and weaker than when you went to bed. You are losing the battle in your sleep. The weapon to defeat this thief is cottage cheese. It contains a unique protein called casein, which behaves differently than any other. When it hits your stomach, it forms a slow-digesting gel. It releases amino acids drop by drop, hour after hour, acting like a nocturnal IV drip that feeds your legs while you dream. By eating this simple, inexpensive dairy product before bed, you turn a period of loss into a period of gain. But we must also address the economics of survival. You should not have to choose between paying for medicine and paying for food. This is where the humble lentil becomes the king of the pantry. It is the single cheapest source of protein on the planet, costing mere cents per serving. But its value goes beyond price. Lentils and edamame are packed with fiber and potent anti-inflammatory compounds. Inflammation is the fire that burns down muscle tissue and makes your joints scream with pain, discouraging you from walking. By flooding your system with these plant-based nutrients, you douse that fire. You stabilize your blood sugar, preventing the insulin spikes that lead to fat gain, and you create an internal environment where muscle can thrive. Sarcopenia often thrives on poverty and inflammation. These foods solve both problems simultaneously. They prove that strength is not a luxury reserved for the wealthy. It is a right accessible to anyone with a few coins and a pot of boiling water. Do not tell me you lack the time or the money to save your own legs. The solution does not require a private chef or a winning lottery ticket. It requires a decision. Here is the blueprint, the daily ritual that turns the tide of aging. Start your morning not with cereal, but with 3 whole eggs. This is non-negotiable. It provides the initial blast of leucine to wake up your metabolism. For lunch, open a can of sardines or tuna over a bed of greens. You are feeding your bones the calcium they crave and your joints the oil they need to move without pain. In the afternoon, instead of a sugary biscuit, eat a cup of steamed edamame. You are fighting inflammation while others are feeding it. For dinner, a warm bowl of lentil soup provides the fiber and protein to keep your blood sugar stable and your wallet full. And finally, never go to sleep without your shield, a half cup of cottage cheese to protect your muscles through the long night. This simple routine delivers over 120 grams of high-quality protein. It hits the critical 1.2 grams per kilogram threshold that medical schools forgot to teach you. And it does all of this for less than $10 a day. Think about that. You likely spend more on coffee, cable TV, or empty snacks than it costs to build a body that can carry you through your 80s with dignity. The narrative that you are destined to become weak, that the wheelchair is waiting for everyone, is a lie. Sarcopenia is not a normal part of aging. It is a disease of deficiency. Your body retains the miraculous ability to rebuild itself until your very last breath, but only if you give it the raw materials. You stand at a crossroads today. One path leads to the slow disintegration of your independence, to a life where you fear every step. The other path leads to strength, to walking tall, to being the person who lifts their grandchildren rather than being the one who needs lifting. The power to change your future is not found in a pill bottle. The strength lies on your plate to help you never have to step into the operating room. Feed your legs properly, starting today. We often treat our bodies like temporary vessels, expecting them to carry us indefinitely without ever stopping to restock the cargo hold. But the human body is more like a grand, historic home. If you stop maintaining the roof, the rain gets in. If you stop reinforcing the beams, the walls sag. Aging is not the storm that destroys the house. Aging is simply the passage of time. The destruction comes from the neglect of maintenance. You have been told that the creaking floorboards and the drafty windows of your health are inevitable. Today, we have proven that they are not. The crumbling of your strength is not a result of the years passing on the calendar, but a result of the emptiness on your plate. The most profound realization you can take from this journey is that independence is priced incredibly low, yet its value is infinite. We worry about saving money for retirement, protecting our nest egg, and ensuring we have enough to pay the bills. Yet, we neglect the only asset that allows us to enjoy that retirement. What good is a healthy bank account if your legs are too weak to carry you to the bank? What is the value of a paid-off house if you cannot climb the stairs to the bedroom? The foods we have discussed, eggs, sardines, lentils, yogurt, are humble. They are not packaged in gold foil. They do not come with celebrity endorsements. They sit quietly on the bottom shelves of the grocery store, waiting for you to recognize their power. They represent a return to basics, a rejection of the complicated, profit-driven medical model in favor of the simple, biological truth that nature provides exactly what we need, if only we are wise enough to consume it. The lesson here is that you are the architect of your own aging. Every time you lift a fork, you are casting a vote. You are voting either for the slow decay of your muscles or for the vibrant renewal of your strength. The application of this knowledge does not require a radical overhaul of your entire life overnight. It requires a shift in mindset. It starts with the very next meal you eat. When you sit down to dinner tonight, look at your plate. Ask yourself, where is the building material? If all you see is fuel, bread, rice, potatoes, you are merely keeping the lights on while the foundation rots. But if you see protein, if you see the amino acids that trigger growth, you are actively repairing the structure. We would love to hear from you in the comments below to help inspire others in this community. Which of the 7 foods mentioned today, eggs, sardines, tuna, edamame, lentils, cottage cheese, or Greek yogurt, are you most likely to add to your grocery list this week, and why? Please share your thoughts down below. Seeing your commitment helps encourage everyone else to take that first step toward better health. If you found value in this video and want to join us in the fight against frailty, please click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support is the fuel that keeps this channel running and allows us to bring you the truth about senior nutrition. Thank you for watching, and remember, your strength is waiting for you to claim it.